Hello, Life Outside podcast listeners. It's Dani. Last winter, a friend took me down to the Salton Sea. It's an endomorphic rift lake that was created in 1905 from the Colorado River, and it's surrounded by farms. It sits on the San Andreas Fault, and, well, it's a pretty interesting place now. In the 50s and 60s, it was a resort destination. But by the 80s, the contamination from the area farms created an outbreak of disease, which decimated the avian populations as well as the fish that lived in the lake, which ultimately would wash up on the shores. It also produces a toxic dust that spreads to nearby communities. In 2020, Palm Springs Info Life magazine noted that the Salton Sea derives its fame as the biggest environmental disaster in California history. It is really smelly, and the muck on the shores is pretty much the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But there's lots of cool art there, and it's a place that I definitely would recommend stopping if you ever have the chance or are nearby. Next, we went to Salvation Mountain, which is largely the work of Leonard Knight, who lived there from 1984 until 2011. The first version that he built collapsed in 1989, and he rebuilt it and expanded it. He wanted to spread love of God and to inspire people. It's another place that I recommend definitely stopping by. It wasn't completely open due to COVID, but it was really an honor to get to see the work that he'd done and that others have carried on since. Salvation Mountain sits right adjacent to Slab City, which is an off-grid community that was founded on the former World War II Marine Corps camp, Dunlap. I didn't film any of the community in Slab City because it's basically people's homes, and that just didn't seem like the right thing to do. But it's definitely an anything goes type of place. Go by there if you ever have a chance. I'm really glad that I got to visit it, but I wouldn't want to live there year-round. The temperatures just are too much for me. When I returned to Palm Desert, where I was staying for a few days, I was rewarded with some beautiful sunsets. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a good day. I'll see you next time, or outside.